Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting Myrtle Beach Kia, and I'm checking out a 2021 Kia K5 in the EX trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 235/45 Pirelli tires wrapped around 18-inch alloy wheels with a gloss gray finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Sapphire Blue. And it's a nice sunny day today, so hopefully you can get an idea of what the blue looks like. It's a nice kind of electric blue, royal blue, that kind of thing. Really impressive. Very unique grille design here with the design going all the way from one side of the vehicle to the other. Now the actual opening of the grille is in this area right here. So this is open here all the way across to there. But then they continue with that design all the way across. And then of course the lower grille is mostly open as well. So this is a flat, like a grayish color. Same thing down here with part of it. And then you have a gloss black, and then they continues down here. So right here you have a black and then that same grayish, goldish. I don't know what that color is. Kind of a strange color, but definitely stands out as being unique. It does have some wheel well ventilation, that gloss black there. It does continue on creating the air curtain. Now the headlights are powered by LEDs in a multi-reflector headlights housing. And the outer portion, the outer two, there's four of them. And the outer two is your low beams, the inner two is your high beams. Turn signals and daytime running lights are all LED. So looking at the profile, you can see it looks quite long. The design of it kind of emphasizes the length, I think. And the side handles are body colored, the side mirrors body colored. But you also have gloss black here in the pillars, here and here. That kind of solidifies the glass. And you also have this top portion, like a chrome piece, goes across the top and then continues on all the way back to the trunk area. There's a little gloss black section here as well. But man, look at those wheels, very impressive wheels. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system that's designed to where you can just keep it in your pocket and use the vehicle 100%. Now it does have some buttons here on the side as well as the back. So that's your remote start button. There's a physical key on the inside as well. And there's lock, unlock, and the ability to open up the trunk, and a panic button, a little red one. So let's go ahead and push that panic button. Nice loud horn. And then the trunk, let's go ahead and pop that open because I want to show you that it goes all the way up. It's spring loaded and it doesn't just release it, it pops it all the way up for you. Now as long as you have the key with you, it could be in your pocket, in a bag, as long as it's within a close proximity to the outside of the door, it's a proximity key, then it will lock and unlock with this button. So you push it to lock the door. Now it's locked. To push it again, that'll unlock it and allow you access to the vehicle. You also have a physical key location here on this, underneath this cover. You will have to take this cover off, and there's a little place to put the physical key. Here's the inside of the passenger side door. And you notice that the swing out of the door, the swing is really wide. And the opening is nice and big. Headroom is all good. So really nice here in the front as far as getting in and out of the vehicle. Soft touch surfaces here, 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 and then the bottom portion is a hard touch, hard plastics. Now this is kind of like a Nerf type material, rubbery Nerf. Then you have the wood grain, a metallic accent that matches the handle. This portion is technically soft touch. It's like a vinyl material over hard plastic. So it bottoms out quickly, so it's not super soft. This is a lot softer right here where you put your arm, which is nice. This is enclosed, so you can actually use this as a little storage pocket, that handle. And check out the speaker grill design. Pretty cool. Has a nice pattern, kind of spiraling out. A lot of gloss black there, so we will need to have some kind of way of keeping that fingerprints off of it. You have a bottle holder, and it's kind of slanted this way, so you can access it easier and just kind of pop a bottle in there, and then there's a storage space here in the back. There's the threshold. It even says K5 on this plastic seal plate. Manually adjusts the seats here on the passenger side, but it does have a height adjustment. That's usually just on the driver's side on some vehicles. Then there's these leather seats with the perforation portion in the center, and then the stitching here on the outside, and smooth material there. Check out the legroom. Nice wide open space here. Very little tapering, if any, as far as the legroom. Now the floor mat does hook in place in one place there in the center here on the passenger side. This right here is a hard touch surfaces. If that was soft, that'd be a little bit better on the knees. Glove compartment. Smooth plastic on the inside. So this is a soft material, hard touch. And then up here is like a rubbery soft. Check out that some of these designs here. A little bit of accents. You got the crisscross for that vent, and then this little bumps there on the bottom of the vent, looking pretty cool. And a nice wood grain piece there, allowing the light to shine on it. So the rear door swings out pretty good as far as the rear door goes. And of course you have some tapering as far as the headroom there, and a little place to have to get around, but overall not too bad for a back seat to get in and out of. There's the inside of the back door. Now similar styling, you have the wood grain and stuff, but hard touch here. You do have that vinyl material, soft arm, and then hard touch down here as well. On the back of both front seats is a net pocket, like not a net pocket, but a elastic pocket here, and then hard touch surface on the back of the seats, so the kids can kick the seats and it won't damage it as much. And it's basically a bench seat back here. But it does have some bolsters to kind of emulate a bucket seat, kind of give you some support, but not too intrusive, what I can tell. Cup holders, armrest, which you can move that out of the way. A little bit higher portion there in the center portion. There is a pretty good sized hump there in the center. It is flat on top. And you have your vents. And they had a little bit of that, had some style to the vents back here as well. It's pretty neat. The seats do have the car seat attachments, the ISOFIX or latch system. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, you notice on the very top it's black. It's a gloss black, the entire top. Because it has a panoramic sunroof, so it kind of blends in to where you can't tell where the sunroof is. It just covers the whole top of the vehicle black. Then you have this shark fin antenna that's also black. The third brake light is at the top of the glass right here, powered by LEDs. The bottom portion of the glass is also a gloss black, so it kind of makes it look like a larger piece of glass, maybe look similar to a hatchback in a way, just the way from a distance. And then you can see that chrome piece that we saw over the windows here on the side windows. It goes around and goes all the way across the back. Now the taillights are a combination of LED and standard bulbs. You have the corner lights and all that is LEDs, the brake lights are LEDs, but the turn signal and reverse lights are standard bulbs. The backup camera is, I don't know why, I think they just do this just to annoy me. They just put it slightly offset and then put that button there. So one of my things is I like to have the camera in the very center of the vehicle, So having it slightly offset's a little bit annoying, but you know, it's close enough as far as it's not going to cause a problem as far as the view, I don't think. But it would be nice if that was in the very center and they put the button somewhere else, for my preferences anyway. So back here you have this big gloss black portion, and then that like a silver accent around the exhaust surrounds. Actually, we have another situation where we have fake vents. The exhaust does not flow out of this at all. So it's just purely for look. So in other words, that's just, I don't know. You let me know what you think about that in the comment section. The actual exhaust is under the vehicle. All right, so we do have parking sensors back here as well. Right there. And to release the trunk, of course you could use the key like I showed you before, but let's go ahead and use this button next to the offset backup camera. And it swings up. So one of the good things is if your hands are full, you can go ahead and get that trunk out of the way. You don't have to touch it with your hands to get your hands dirty or whatever, but you just got to watch out because it springs up so fast it might knock something out of your hand or something, so you keep that in mind. I think it's overall a good thing though for it to go up. Has carpet on the underside of the trunk, which is good. And the trunk space is very adequate. I mean, it's nice and open. The opening of the trunk is probably your only limited factor here as far as putting out large objects. Has a place for net pocket. And you notice it has the like a carpet all the way around here, except for under here. So this is where you have some exposed metal and wires and speakers and stuff. So you want to keep that in mind when you're putting in your luggage or whatever. Shoot, if you cram it in there, it might get damaged by that metal if you cram it too much. To release and fold down the seats, you have a pull here and here. And it's a 60-40 split, so you can fold down and add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space when needed. You also have a spare tire under this cover, and tire and tools there in the center. You do have a little bit of space around it. You can store some stuff if you like. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it locks and unlocks with the vehicle. So when the vehicle's locked, this door will lock. It has a traditional cap, tether, and a place to hang the cap here on the inside of the door. As long as you have the key inside the vehicle, it could be in your pocket, in a bag, or whatever. As long as it's inside the vehicle, you put your foot on the brake, hold it, and push this button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now you notice there's two hooks to hold the floor mat in place. Of course, the floor mats are not in place now. Then your accelerator and brake pedal, your accelerator pivots here at the bottom. And then you do have a nice footrest on there on the left side. Let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there is a latch a little bit to the right of center. So here's your center line right here, a little bit to the right. You reach in and there's a latch and you move it to the left. So you move it to the left and lift up, like so. And it gets to a certain point to where it goes up the rest of the way by itself, which is nice, because it feels like it has a little bit of weight to that hood. There's the latch there, so you can see it's a little bit to the right. Let's move it like so. So there's insulation on the underside of the hood. There's also a seal across the front. There's a seal across the back here as well. Insulated battery, and the battery's easy to get to, which is pretty good. Usually modern vehicles, you don't have to access the battery as much, but there it is. Now I like the way it has these little covers. So usually I don't like covers like this and this. I don't like the big cover over an engine because it kind of, I don't know, it just takes away from the, you lift the hood not to look at plastic so much, but actually the engine, like the metal and actual components of the engine. So the fact that they added these little covers, it doesn't obscure the overall engine, and it adds a little bit of information here as far as the turbocharged, and then they make it look like carbon fiber, which is pretty neat. So you can see it has, it's a turbocharged. So the air intake is coming in here, going to the turbo, and then around to the intake. So your actual exhaust is back here, and your intake is in the front, but the airflow has to start at the turbo. I don't know if that's too much information, but it's kind of neat, because sometimes I get a lot of comments in the comment section about the flow of the engine, how I'm wrong as far as where the intake and exhaust is. But anyways, you have the insulation here on the firewall, which is nice, and you notice the strut towers are braced in with the unibody structure of the vehicle. It's kind of like its own brace. So this goes all the way across and braces to the other one, and it's kind of hidden, but it does have that stability. Most sports cars will have that, you know, braced in, those two strut towers braced in with some kind of brace. This vehicle is powered by a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So the power windows are one touch up and down here on the front. So you can see those are a little bit different symbols. So the back doors, you will have to hold them down. And they do go almost all the way down. The front doors, it's one touch down. And you see how nice and smooth and fast they are. The side mirrors have the blind spot detection indicators on them. Right there, so you can see a little symbol there. That's your blind spot detection. Also, your rear cross traffic alert will indicate which side the vehicle's on. Some vehicles have them here in the pillar or here, you know, different places, but in the rearview mirror is the kind of like the default, I guess. So the driver does have a better seat as far as functionality in most people's opinion. That is a power seat. So you do have the height adjustment, but it's all manual on the other side. So it's basically like a dentist seat. You can go up and down till it also has a two-way lumbar adjustment as well. Really nice looking seats, and they're comfortable too. The bolsters are not too intrusive, and once you get into a good seating position, they feel really good. To the left of the steering column here, you have some buttons, or down here is a fuse box, so that's what that is. The ability to open up the trunk, and remember it'll swing up on you, so that way it opens up all the way for you. Interior gauge dimmer switch. This is a safety feature. This would be your lane keep assist. And then this is the traction control. You can turn it off, default will be on, so if you want to spin tires, you will need to turn that off. Tilt and telescoping steering column, nice and easy, smooth. It goes in and out quite a bit, and you lock it in place there. Okay, I'm sitting in the driver's seat checking it out, and I have the seat all the way back and all the way down, and I'm 6 feet tall, and I feel like a toddler because there's so much room here. This is a little bit too, I can barely touch the pedals here. I can't put my foot on the footrest. I can touch it with my tippy toes, but plenty of legroom here as far as in the front. It is unbelievable how far the seat goes back. And they are heated and ventilated seats. And I don't know about the heat part, but the ventilation part works great because I turned it on and I instantly feel it. So some vehicles are more subtle. This one is nice, especially on a hot day like today. I think the heat index is over 100 degrees today. It's like 90 something. Leather wrap steering wheel, and the leather wrapping, it does have some give to it, so it's not super hard or anything like that, but it's not super soft either. So it has a pretty decent softness. It's not so bad, but the thickness is good. And that makes a big difference. So if your hands are wrapped around if you have big hands and you wrap it around a small, skinny steering wheel, it tends to kind of dig into your hand and bones and all that stuff, and it's not as comfortable. So it doesn't matter so much if it's soft or not, as long as it's not too skinny. For me, anyway, that's my preference. So we have some buttons here on the steering wheel. So you can see on the left side, this is your volume for your radio, this up and down switch. This is your tracks, or the radio station, depending on what you're listening to, up and down. Now your phone, once you pair your Bluetooth phone, you can answer calls, hang up here. voice recognition, you can make calls using that or other options. There's different voice commands you can bark out. And then mode, that's basically your audio source. Change like AM, FM, Bluetooth, that kind of stuff. Here on the right side is your cruise control, these section right here. So you have turn it on, set your speed, and then this is to resume and cancel. These buttons, this is your steering assist, lane keep assist, so it'll actually help turn your steering wheel. These buttons and those pages right there correspond with a little screen between the gauges. We'll get to that in just a minute. Windshield wiper controls are here on the right side. Turn signals here on the left side. But it also has your headlight control. So you have off, automatic, parking light, and then your headlights on. So here's your gauges, and it's fairly traditional gauges here. There on the left side is your RPMs with your engine coolant temperature here in the center. On the right side is your speedometer with your fuel gauge in the center bottom. And in the middle you have a little screen which gives you more information. So it's showing you at the very top, this is how much you can drive before you have to get gas. So it's low on gas, it says 40 miles. This is how many miles the vehicle has, so your odometer. Outside temperature, and then the little indicator whether you have your different safety features on or off here. And then in the middle is a digital speedometer, which is great. I really like that. But what we can do is, we can remember these buttons here. We have the pages button, and then we have the up and down, and then OK. You push that in for OK, make selections. So I'm gonna hit the pages button, and we're gonna cycle through, and you can see there's different selections at the top, like tabs. So we cycle through. The first one is this one. We can scroll down on this one, and we can see the tire pressure. You have to drive to do that, apparently. And so there's just 2 selections here on the first page. All right, the next one is fuel economy. It has 4 selections. You get different information here, including your drive mode. The next one is your safety features, so that your adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist, lane departure alert, stuff like that will give you visual indicators here. We can scroll down, and this is your attention level. And basically, if you're swerving a lot and you're turning on the lane keep assist type stuff too much, then it's gonna pop up and say maybe it's time for a break. Just get a little reminder or something. All right, the next tab here, or page, goes into settings. You have driver assistance, lights, doors, sounds, this kind of stuff. So this is the type of stuff that you would set up when you first get the vehicle, and pretty much never touch it after that, unless there's a particular thing you need to set. Then it goes back to the original page. So that's kind of a rundown. It's fairly easy to use, and basic information, not too complex. And my default would just basically be these digital speedometer. But you can leave it on any page you want. So we saw the start button there. The glare that you see right there on camera, my eyes, even if I tilt my head down to that level, is not that bad. So the camera's actually making it look worse than what it is. But look at all that gloss black. The gloss black looks good, but just keep like a little towel or something to wipe it, because we'll get fingerprints and stuff, and it will show every little smudge, which your screen's going to do that too. So while you're wiping the screen, you can wipe around it anyway. So you have physical buttons here on the outside, as well as a touch screen. So radio, media, favorites, volume for your radio, tune through your stations there, make selections there on the right knob. Then you have setup, and then you change through your tracks there. Okay, so this is basically like your home screen, and you can see it's a split. You have your radio, you have different selections here at the top, at the bottom here. But let's go to all menus, and this is where you see Apple CarPlay and Android Auto grayed out. But once you attach your phone, this will be an option to use. And you can pair phones. It actually has a full user manual, which you can go in and look up stuff digitally and search it. The good thing about digital stuff over like an actual physical manual is that you can do a search instead of looking through, you know, page after page trying to find something. It actually search for something. Then you can have your setup and all that stuff there. And then let's go see a little home. That's how you get back to the home screen. And then here's your radio. Let's go ahead and hit that and go to the radio screen. And you can make a selection here, so you AM, FM, satellite radio. You can, with the satellite radio, you can enter in a particular channel since there's so many channels, or you can, of course, you know, seek through different channels, that kind of thing. Now, as you have different audio sources, you will have more options. So it will, you know, pop up. So when you hit media, see it says no media source available. But when you do have media source, let's say you plug in a phone, or you have attach a Bluetooth, a paired Bluetooth device, or whatever, then it's going to have more options. It's just not showing those options right now. And then your favorites right here. So you can have, you know, favorite buttons and stuff right here. So it's a pretty straightforward screen. There's not a lot of complexity there, and you know, it's real simple. I mean, it's a simple radio. There's no navigation or anything like that in this particular model. There's your four-way flashers, and then your climate control is a dual zone. So the driver and passenger temperatures are here. You can sync both of them, which I have right now, and then when you move it, it will do both temperatures. You unsync it by pushing that button, or you just simply start turning that knob, it'll unsync it. Then you have your fan speed, where you want the air to blow, front and rear defrosters, and all that good stuff. Recirculate the air. Now the automatic function, I have it turned off, but that really works good. You just set the temperature and hit automatic, and it'll handle it for you. I have it turned off because I need to turn the fan down a little bit so it won't be so noisy. So just below your climate control, there's a storage pocket, and you have USB charge port and input. So this will be your input, that's your charge port, and then 12-volt power supply, and a nice big open space here, which is easy to get to. The walls around it that are kind of tapered to where you can access it easy. It is around the shifter, but there's an open space there on the right side, and it's open on the top as well. And I put this wall right here, I guess, to keep the passenger from accessing it as easy or whatever. I don't know, but that's kind of neat. See, there's your cup holders. And the cup holders have these little articulating arms. It also has a rubber bottom portion, which you can take out. It's not like super soft. It's kind of like more like a plasticky rubber. But basically, you can take this out. It's a little bit easier when you're using two hands and not using a camera. But anyways, that bottom portion comes out and you can clean it and put it back in. That's what I was trying to get at. But it has a little handle right there in the middle. But once you pull it up about halfway, you need to take your other hand and grab the edge of it and pull it out. Because you notice always stuff gets in the bottom of the cup holder and you try to wipe it out and you can't really get it all. So this is a good way of just pulling that out, clean it, and put it. You can like bring it in the house and wash it in the sink if you want to, and then put it back in there. So that kind of stuff I like. And this portion has a rubber portion. This pocket has a rubber portion at the bottom too that you can take out. There's a little tab here on the right side. You can actually take this out, and it's secured in there. It's not just laying in there. It does have this secure function. So that's another thing. You know, keeping your vehicle clean and organized is, you know, if it's easier to do that, then I think that's a good thing. Okay, so here's the shifter, and when I got in the vehicle, I was looking at the shifter and I was thinking it seems a little out of place. I mean, we have this wood grain here, and just the style is it's like a sporty, nice quality vehicle, and the shifter just cosmetically just seems to be out of place. It just seems too bland or something about it. Maybe, let me know what you think in the comments. I don't know, maybe I'm just looking at it too much, but it's super functional though. It's comfortable, and you know, it's just a nice T-handle shifter, so it's perfect size for my hand. I mean, it's functionally great. I just thought, at first glance, I thought it was a little bit out of place as far as the way it looked. And this is like a rubber material. Well, another thing is when I first looked at it, I thought this was just like a hard plastic. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cheapy looking, but actually it is comfortable. This is kind of like a rubbery material, grippy. So it's really good as far as the functionality and everything. So let's go ahead and put it in reverse. And the backup camera pops up, but also your parking sensor is activated. And if there's something back there, it'll actually show on this screen. I don't know if you can see, when I put it in reverse, it pops up. See that right there? It goes away because there's nothing to beep at, but if there's something back there, it'll give you a visual indicator on what side the actual item is, or wall, or whatever it is, shopping cart, whatever the item is that's another car that you're getting close to. So that way you get an idea of where to look, because sometimes it's, you know, it's just something small or whatever. And if it doesn't show up on the backup camera, then you're wondering what the heck's going on. So the backup camera has active guidelines. So as I turn the steering wheel, you can see those secondary lines turn. And then you have this function here. It's more of a top-down view. And then you have your settings here. You can adjust it, you know, center it or whatever. This is pretty interesting. But this would be the default view for me. Continuing on, it has neutral, drive, and then you can change the gears manually by putting it in this position, and you can bump it like a ratchet shifter. And that T handle is perfect for the ratchet shifter portion. Alright, so you have an electronic parking brake. So you lift it up to engage it, and it engages the rear wheels. Push it down to release it as long as you hold the brake. And then it has speaking of holding the brake, it has an auto hold feature, so it'll hold the brake while you're sitting in traffic or extended period of time at a light or whatever. Just hold the brake while the vehicle's in drive, keep you from rolling forward. And when you push the accelerator, it'll release it. And then this is your heated seat and ventilated seat controls. So here on the passenger side and driver is the same thing. So you go down, and it's this 3-stage, high, medium, and low. For your ventilation, same thing with your heat, high, medium, and low. So you notice it's a different color, so you know which one is which. So right here, this kind of looks like a button, doesn't it? But it's not. It's just a little indicator light for your wireless charger, which is right in here. And this is pretty neat because it's easy to get to, and it's kind of just a nice little spot here. So before we get to that, let's look at the armrest. So the armrest is soft to the touch, and it's kind of rubbery, hard, soft, but it doesn't bottom out at all. It feels good. And this lifts up, and it's kind of spring loaded, so it's not going to slam back down on you because it stays there. You can lift it all the way up if you'd like. And then there's your storage space. There's a USB charge port here. This is just for charging. And right in here, this is plastic that hadn't been removed, but right in here is where you have your charge. You can put your phone in there. So it has this little kind of like phone keeper to keep it in place, but depending on how big your phone is and also how thick your case is, like my case is too thick to fit in there, you can reach in there and you can pull it up and you can get this out of the way, and you can just lay your phone in there. As long as it's touching that side, it should be fine, and it's leaning enough to where it should stay in place. So this thing is kind of optional. Rearview mirror has a manual day and night mode. The visor has a nice big mirror. There's plastic on it right now. Nice big mirror. There's a clip there. And as you open this up, the little light turns on. It's not LED though. I was kind of surprised. This is like a cloth material. It also extends out. The visor on the other side is the same way. So right up here, we have some buttons, and we have your lights. So you notice these are nice bright LEDs. So we can turn those on or off. We can have them turn on with the door if we'd like. This is for your sunroof. We'll get to that in a minute. And then you have some features. This is like roadside assistance, emergency type stuff. Also, Kia has like a cell phone app that you can access some features as well. Alright, so this is massive sunroof. It goes from here all the way back over the heads of the rear passengers. And let's go ahead and we push this button back gently, and it'll just do the shade. Push it a little bit more and it'll move it back. The back portion, this portion is fixed. This portion moves. Push it again, and that's as far back as it goes. You see, it doesn't go all the way back. It's like halfway. And close it up. It does tilt too, so we can tilt it like so. And close it up. And look at the visibility. So it does have a little window there in the back, that's behind the rear passengers. And looking over my shoulder, it is a little bit functional. It is small, but you can see through it. It's more functional on that side than as far as the driver's position. But yeah, overall the visibility's fine. Not a big deal. I mean, of course you have the technology, backup camera, parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot detection system, all kinds of stuff to help you, drive safer. So anyways, thank you for watching, and thank you to Myrtle Beach Kia here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'll leave a link in the description of their website, so if you happen to be in Myrtle Beach while you're on vacation or whatever, then you can check them out and maybe drive home in a new car. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.